Hi guys, happy holidays! I am so excited to be working with Auntie Tay on her holiday DIYs or holiday DIYs or whatever we're calling it. Super excited. I love, love, love the holidays. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a super simple DIY sign with a stencil and some chalk paint. So the sign I will show you I'm going to use is I think it was like $3. I got it from the Target dollar spot. It's super cute and like very chic. It's not like hitting you over the head with like holidays. It just has like a really cute floral design. So I thought I would use some non-traditional Christmas colors for this sign. So the SVG I'm going to use today is this hot cocoa SVG. I thought it was super cute from Auntie Tay, and I'm going to play around with the colors a little bit, but basically this is the look I'm going for. And so if you're a member, you get access to all of these SVGs for free. So it's super easy how to download these to your computer. All you do is click download, and I do the direct download here, and then it just goes onto your machine. So we have our blank mat here, blank canvas. So to insert the SVG, we're just going to go to upload, click on upload image here, click browse, and then wherever your machine saves to your computer, you can just find it there. So here it is right here. So just click open. You can see it's ready to go. So we're just going to hit save here, and it's right there ready to go. So now we are going to put it onto our mat. So all we do is need to click it, click insert, and it's right there ready to go. So now remember, we are going to be doing a stencil. So we're going to move our SVG to the side, and I'm going to make a rectangle, or well, this is a square, but I'm going to be making a rectangle with it, and I'll show you why in a sec. So first, let's size this here. So I think my sign is like, I think 4 by, this should be a pretty good size. We'll do like 3.5 by 6.5 or so. Okay, so now we want to make our rectangle about the same size. So I'm just going to place this over and sides, because this really is going to be the foundation of our stencil. So now what we're going to want to do is to weld all of this together. And so when you do that, it's all going to become this one solid color, and that's okay because we are going to be painting it anyways. We're not using vinyl. And the reason, again, why you want to weld it is because when we go to slice, it will only slice one image at a time. So if we make this one cohesive solid image, we can slice it all at once. So let me show you. So we're just going to select everything here, and we're just going to click weld. And so now you can see it's all one color, totally fine, not to be alarmed, because what we're going to do is we're going to place this right on top of our rectangle that we made earlier. We're going to select everything, and we're going to hit slice. So now we're going to move away these layers, and you can see we're left with our stencil. So this is what we're going to cut out of our stencil film. So we can get rid of these. And now basically we are ready to go. So we can come over here and click make it, and you can see this is the stencil that we are going to be cutting out. So we're going to hit continue, it's going to find our machine. And the settings I'm going to use to cut on this are the vinyl setting plus more pressure. So I'm not going to cut this just on regular vinyl. The stencil film is a little bit thicker, so we're going to cut this on vinyl plus more pressure. So I'm going to switch you guys over to the camera so you can see how we're going to cut this. Okay, so like I showed you, this is the sign we're going to use. I thought it was super cute, and it's not like traditional, you know, like holiday-y, so I thought it was like cute if you wanted to do like more of like a chic kind of like not so red and green Christmas. So I have my stencil film on our mat. So this is the stencil film that Auntie Tay sent me. You can use my 10% off code. They'll link it below, and you can get 10% off your whole order. And I used to absolutely hate the stencil vinyl, but I've learned how to work with it, and it's awesome. And it's much more affordable to buy than just using, you know, vinyl. So I think this is awesome. And if it has these little bubbles in it, no worries. That's why I didn't like it, because I thought, oh my gosh, it's already bubbling, like I can't use it. No, 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 you totally can still use it. So we are ready to cut. So I'm just going to pull out my machine, and we'll load our mat. Make sure my vinyl is stuck down. And once this starts blinking, we will cut. And for some reason, my machine has been like randomly losing connection in the middle of when I go to cut. I don't know if it's like my internet or if it's Design Space, but usually it comes right back. So I'll give it a minute and we'll see if it comes back. Oh, it just did. Perfect. Okay, so now we can cut. And we can't craft without coffee. In full disclosure, I didn't make this. I bought this at Home Goods because there's a Lauren and a Joe right next to each other, and so I had to buy it. I digress. All right, so now we can unload our mat. And so we're just going to take our stencil vinyl off the mat, and I apologize if you can hear someone is like weed whacking or mowing their lawn super aggressively right now, so my apologies. Okay, so we can move our machine out of the way. And so now we are going to, well, first I'm going to trim. Okay, I'm gonna have to close the window. That is super annoying. Okay, so that's muffled now a little bit. And so you can see that some of this stencil did get pulled up, and it's actually not that big of a, it's not that big of a deal because the letters that got pulled up, those are the letters we're gonna weed out anyways. So you're gonna wanna go in with your weeding tool. I have scoured my craft area. I've cleaned it. I cannot find my weeding tool, so I really need to go get a new one. So I've just been using tweezers. So now what we're going to do is we are going to be weeding out the negative space from this stencil. So this one is a little tricky because it does have some here, I'll show you what I'm trying to explain that I can't articulate. So it has some like little cuts out of it like this, so we just want to make sure that we don't accidentally pull those up when we're weeding out our letters. So see, like that, because it's like a little rustic kind of font that they used with this SVG. So if you're doing something a little more detailed, just be mindful when you're weeding, or don't choose such a detailed SVG like I did for something that's a little more delicate and small, but we're doing okay so far. We're doing okay. I love the holidays so much, you guys. It's like not even funny. I don't even know why. They just make me feel so nostalgic and like just cozy and homey. I don't know. I just love the holidays a lot. Joe, on the other hand, I mean, he like likes the holidays, but he's not like, for me, I'm like, okay, let's start decorating. Let's start turning on the Hallmark channel. And he's like, it's not even Halloween yet, Lauren. What is your problem? So, but it's all about balance. Okay. So we have our hot cocoa weeded. There's a line right here. And then this is the last little part down here, and there's a lot of intricate letters, so we just want to be careful. See, like the little part of the E right here just stayed. Okay. So like the little insides of these curly cues, I'm just manually sticking back. Because the stencil film, as much as I do love it, with like little intricate details like this, it does tend to get a little messy. So like same thing with this P right here. Okay, so that was that took a little time, but it looks super cute. So I'm just going to now clean up a little bit, and then we will transfer this bad boy onto our sign. Okay, so now we're ready to transfer this to our sign, and if you are new, then you might be like, what is this crazy masking tape that you're using? This is probably the best transfer tape ever. I have gotten so many people hooked on this, and other people that do crafts for Auntie Tay have also got others hooked on this. This transfer tape is freaking amazing. It's Expressions vinyl transfer tape. Auntie Tay sells it, and she sent this to me to try, and it's literally the only transfer tape I use now. So, you know, it's just the best. You can just grab and go, get it out of the way, and it has no carrier sheet that you have to pull off, so it's just ready to go. So we're just gonna stick it onto our stencil, and I'm just gonna smooth it down as best as I can. All right. And so now I like to I kind of like reverse peel it. So I like to turn it over and then just peel the carrier sheet away. And so you can see like it is just coming off like actual butter. So this is ready to go. So now we're going to take our sign, and we're just going to put this as best in the center as we can. So I think that looks good. So I like to start in the middle and then work my way out. So then just scrape it down as good as you can. so now we're just going to peel away our transfer tape, just making sure that all of those loose, those like little tiny pieces are staying. So far, so good. All right, so we have our stencil now. Good to go. So the paints I'm going to be using, so I'm going to be using two kinds of chalk paint, also from Auntie Tay. So this is the Creative Sister Persimmon, and this is the Creative Sister Seafoam. And like I said, I'm not using like traditional colors here. So I'm going to use these for the hot cocoa, and then for the come inside and warm up, I'm going to use some acrylic paint, and I want to use like this gray. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit of this out, and then I'm gonna see if that's dark enough, and if it isn't, I'm just gonna add a little bit of black, but we can get started. So for the hot cocoa, I am going to use this Seafoam. And again, so I'm going to use a real light coat to start. So like barely have any paint on there. And I'm just going to kind of real light. So take some of that off actually. And if you have it on your hands, be careful where you touch your sign, because I already have marked this up. So I'm just going to go in and kind of dab it on. Just a light coat first. And we can always go back with more, because I get a lot of questions about, you know, how to avoid bleeding or how to get those sharp, crisp lines. And sorry if that's like aggressively moving the camera around. And my number one tip is just light coats of paint, because you can always go back and add more. And once you add too much paint, that's where you're gonna get bleeding, especially with these really like delicate, intricate lines. So I'm just kind of dabbing. I go in between like dabbing and brushing. So now I'm gonna go in with this persimmon and just do the coffee mug. And it looks kind of spotty right now, but don't worry, because I'll go back in there with more paint. I feel like it bleeds a little bit more with these like really smooth surfaces. So just FYI. Okay, so that, I'm gonna leave that alone. Now, okay, this brush is really aggressive, but I don't have any other ones. So I'm gonna go in with this, and I think this is an actual stencil brush. Now I'm gonna do this line with this gray, and I'm also gonna do the sentence down here in gray as well. Right, so I'm just going to do light coats. And for this brush, I'm kind of more brushing than like dabbing, but whatever you're comfortable with. And I'm just being careful with these letters that have like the little middles, like the S and the E's and stuff. Okay, so leave that alone. Now I'm going to go back to the teal, and now I'm just doing another coat up here. And this chalk paint, I mean, it's chalk paint, so it does look, once it dries, it looks a little more rustic than acrylic paint. So just FYI. It gives it that like chalky look that we all love. Okay. So now go do this gray line again. And now the second coat, I'm just doing a little heavier. All right, so now I'm gonna go back one more time up here and just any spots that I think need a little more love. Okay, and I think the gray down here is fine. So now is the moment of truth. We're gonna start peeling this up. And I'm gonna start from down here. And so I'm just gonna peel, and if things get stuck or whatever, I'm just gonna keep peeling. We can always go back and get the stragglers. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with my tweezers and just get any of these pieces that are left over. All right, so we have the hot cocoa done up here. Super cute. So now I'm just gonna finish up . All right, so we have our super cute little sign using our DIY stencil. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's listed below, and use my code if you would like to for 10% off at Auntie Tay. And happy crafting!